And now we welcome in our first guest. As a matter of fact, instead of the head coach, Mike Gundy, we're going to welcome in arguably the best running back in all of college football. In fact, by awards stands, he is the greatest running back in college football right now, Ollie Gordon II of Oklahoma State. Ollie, welcome to BYU Sports Nation and Big 12 Media Days.
How y'all doing?
We're doing great. How do you think about, or what do you think of the setup here at Allegiant Stadium? We'll begin with that.
I think it looks pretty good. You know, it's pretty elite. Seeing all the teams here, well, not all the teams, but all the mascots and all the tier teams, everybody here. You know, I feel like it's really beautiful out here in the great stadium.
I love that. Ollie, quick question. I want to get right into it, okay? What's, I having played football myself, having had a decision to come out early, I'm very curious as to know what went into your decision to come back, right? You came off of a phenomenal year, arguably could have been one of the first running backs, if not the first running back off the board in last year's NFL draft. What is what got you back here? And take me through that process of making that decision.
Oh, well, a couple things kind of played into part to that. Technically, last year was just my second year out of high school, so I wasn't available for draft yet.
Okay.
I wasn't eligible. So, and then again, I was just going through everything, going through the seasons I've been here, and I just feel like Oklahoma State is home to me, I feel like they value me more as a person. My teammates and my coaches, they don't just look at us as players. They actually care for us, and, I feel like if I was a transfer or go somewhere else, they would just care for me as a player and not as a person,
Gotcha.
Yeah, the transfer portal is such a prominent part of college sports, and you just brought it up. But what is it about the camaraderie and the chemistry of Oklahoma State that sets it apart from other programs, in your opinion?
Like I said, ever since I've been talking to Oklahoma State, they just treated me like, they've been knowing me forever, like I was family. When I first got on the campus, the players, they took me in as their little brother, and, they showed me the ways. And as I just grew with them, I learned the Cowboy culture, and it just got better and better from then on. So now I feel like I got to pass that down to my little brothers now that's here, coming in as freshmen, like how the upperclassmen did me.
I need to compliment you because it's not always easy to go through a tough experience like you have recently, but then you're in front of it. And you could have very well said, like, now I'm going to pass on media days, and I don't want to do that. But you put out a really, really well-versed statement yesterday, and as you go through these tough times, what has this process taught you about those challenges, and how do you expect it to shape your future?
Yeah, you really just got to, watch the decisions you make, honestly. One decision you can make could be the last one you make, and it could be bad for you. Or you could, learn from your mistakes and prevent it from happening deeper into the future, So, I tell you like that. And plus, I didn't want to leave my teammates and my coaches out here for them to answer all the questions when I could be here to do it. That wouldn't be very, responsible of me.
Very mature of you, right? Being able to do that, being able to kind of come out in front of it, admit to the mistakes. Everyone's got them, right? Play with a ton of athletes or a ton of players or teammates that have had a similar mistake, right? And being able to handle that, like, man, maybe that's why I mistake you as being such an older, as a senior or junior, right? Talk to me about Coach Gundy, right? Like, one of the things I love about Coach Gundy is at least from the outside looking in, he seems to be a coach that's always bringing that fire and always wanting to cultivate that team culture. What are some of the things that you guys have done this offseason in order to carry that momentum from last year and such a successful season into this year?
Actually, Coach Gundy, I could just say and just like, he's a great guy, but, honestly, he is. Everybody already knows that. The thing that stands out about Coach Gundy is last year he took us probably around the third game, and, he just showed us a bunch of clips of teams before, like, prior teams at Oklahoma State, warming up, getting ready, and how hyped they were after games, when their teammate make plays. And he was just saying, like, we need to get back to the culture of Oklahoma State Cowboys, Right now,
any clips of him? Any clips of him in that mix of the highlights shown to the team?
You might see Coach Gundy in the Dougie a couple videos or something, But, yeah, he just told us that we need to bring back the Cowboy culture, basically back to the locker room. And, another thing I love about him is, like, he doesn't get involved in the locker room. He lets us – he tells us it's our locker room. Like, it's his team,
yeah,
but he tells us it's our team also, So I feel like he's shaping us for the real world experiences, and he's preparing us, honestly, and I really appreciate him. He's a great guy. He always checks on us, makes sure, asks us how we're doing in team meetings. He'll take his time to get one-on-one with all of us, and, he's just a great guy.
Yeah, he's fiery, man. I love his energy.
He's got fantastic hair, to say the least. That is for sure. Ollie Gordon II is with us on BYU Sports Nation. You mentioned that turnaround last year, Ollie, where things were, it was a rough start to the season. Then all of a sudden Oklahoma State is peaking and you're playing in the Big 12 championship game. You're picked to finish third this year. How do you manage expectations coming off a year where you were in the championship game and then you get picked to finish third?
I mean, really, long as we just stay true to each other, we don't really pay attention to the outside noise, I feel like we'll be fine. As long as, me and my teammates know we got each other and know that we have each other's back regardless of what goes on, I feel like we'll be fine. It's kind of funny that they pick us to finish third, but I feel like I'm cool with being the underdog. I feel like as long as we're the underdog, we play better.
I think every BYU fan wants to know what the heck happened at halftime in Stillwater as well, because BYU was in a good position, and then you scored 5 touchdowns, Ollie. What changed at halftime that allowed you to win that game and eventually get to the Big 12 title?
It was really just us going in and realizing what we had at stake. If we would have lost that game, you go to the Big 12 championship, and we would not want little bro to go to the Big 12 championship, especially for their last year being in it. So I just feel like we went into halftime and we locked in with each other. When I say like Gundy gives us the leadership to where it's our team, I want to talk to the defense. You got Nick Martin, Colin Oliver coming over to talk to me. All our great defensive leaders coming to talk to me. You got me and Allen going to talk to everybody. Just going to talk to everybody. And I'm just telling you about everybody. I'm like, bro, this not about to be our last game. We got so much potential on this team. Why would we just lay down and give up? So we all locked in together and we got it right.
Have you noticed a difference in? You mentioned Allen. Have you noticed a difference in his demeanor as being now this, going into his second year as a starter? I mean, the first year for any starter, let alone the QB position, is a little bit, nerve-wracking. There's some things that you need to get used to. He probably needs to get settled in a little bit. But I've always seen an improvement from the year 1 to year 2. Have you noticed a change in his demeanor in the locker room and in the weight room and the off-season schedule?
You can just tell with Allen that, he's been around college football for a long time. He took year 1, to adapt to the team, learn how we were. And as year 2 comes on, he's stepping up more. He's doing more things, giving more of that Cowboy culture than he was before, And that's just because he was new to the program last year. But he's done a great job adapting, Everybody loves him. He's a great guy, very responsible. Definitely a guy you want leading your team,
How old were you when he began college football in 2018?
2018, I would have been, 14. I was 14 in 2018.
Really?
I was born. No, wait. In 2014, I was 10.
2018.
Oh, 2018. Yeah, I was 14.
Yeah, you're 14.
Yeah, 2018. I was 14.
So you were all of 14 years old when your quarterback began his college football
It's
career.
funny that you say that because every time you bring it up, every time I see him, I'm like, Papa, come here. Come here, Uncle, come here. But yeah, that's crazy to think about, honestly. We talked about it the other day. I think when he graduated high school, I was a freshman in high school.
That's like that's the likes of BYU right there. Right? That sounds like the BYU roster.
Taysom Hill was 26 and starting at BYU. He can certainly appreciate that. Ollie, I got to ask you about, with the EA Sports setup behind us, hey, what's your rating in the new college football game? What would you put it as?
And don't go humble on us.
As
either,
the reigning,
right? Don't go
you're
humble.
the reigning best running back in college football.
If y'all want me to be real with y'all, I'm going to be 100% with y'all. I feel like, I'm going to say one number and the second number behind the match. I feel like my rating should be a 9, so I'm going to let you figure that one out.
Okay. Oh, fantastic. Hey, we'll finish with this. How are you a different running back right now compared to where you were at this time last year?
This time last year, I was still, adapting on trying to be a leader. I feel like with what I just had this past season and going into it, I feel like I'm a better leader and I'm a more confident runner. Like, now I get the ball hit it downhill, and I'll be fine with it. Last year at this time, I was a timid running back. I was like, do I want to make that cut? Do I want to do this? So I just feel like
last year you were timid.
No.
The
year before the season.
Okay.
Around this time last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I was timid. But now I feel like as I went through that spring ball, that fall camp, going against the Nick Martins, the Colin Olivers, you can't be timid. It's going to get bad for you, you know what I'm saying, in between them tackles. So I feel like they've bettered me as a running back and a person, so I appreciate that.
Outstanding. Oh, I actually have a friend who is a diehard Oklahoma State fan and said, you cannot let Ollie get off the desk without asking, like, one, do you feel 100%, and do you expect that everything you've gone throughout the field, do you fully anticipate that you'll be available for every game and all of fall camp and everything moving forward?
Do I feel 100% right now? Yeah, I do. We can play a game tomorrow. I'll be ready. But, speaking on that, I really, hey, actions deserve consequences, and whatever Coach Gundy decides, I'm behind him 100%, honestly.
Ollie, you're a class act.
Class act, man.
We appreciate you being with us. We're hoping that you get that 9 rating as well. And wish you the best luck moving forward.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You got it.
All right, brother.
Ollie Gordon II,
thank you,
BYU
sir.
Sports Days. That's the best running back in college football, ladies and gentlemen.